I'm Rachel, owner and artist at Stella Rose Boutique here in Greenville, Tennessee. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button for me and mash that notifications bell so you won't miss any of my upcoming thrift flips, how-to tutorials, trash to treasures, and everyday upcycling and repurposing of old furniture and making it new decor. Today's a combination video. You could do it as a thrift haul or a trash to treasure, but I don't know where I got each one of these items. Some of them are from garage sales, some of them are thrifted, some were given to me. I can't remember all of it, but they're all projects that have been started and never finished. So today I'm going to start tackling some of my stuff that needs to get finished. So come with me as we figure out what I'm going to start with. Let's go!
I have this wall of shelves here in my basement, and it is full of half-started projects and projects I need to start. So I'm going to start tackling it one at a time. Here is a sap bucket that I decided to put a coat of DIY Crinoline on. There is nothing that I haven't found that this paint won't adhere to. It's amazing. I'm using my Klingon S30 brush to put this paint on the bucket. Then I am using Big Top to seal it in. I'm using a separate set of brushes. I won't use my good brushes for top coat because you want to keep them separate from your paint. It's a round surface and so it won't roll. I added a scrap towel to each side to keep it from rolling as I apply the transfers. I decided to cut them up, and it is okay, y'all, to just hack them all up however you want and then apply them. You don't have to use them just as they come. I decided to use some blue painter's tape to help adhere them so that they wouldn't move on this round surface when I was adhering them. I decided to also take the blue tape and stick it to my clothes to get some of the extra sticky off. I didn't want it to pull anything up on the bucket. When I was taking the transfer and rubbing it off, because the cuts were very close to the edge of the actual design, I had to go slow in some spots because I didn't want to scratch the paint and have it come off of that. You'll see here that there is a difference. You see how there's the light faded difference? That has already been adhered to the piece versus the dark part on top where that has not been adhered yet. And something that's really nice about these transfers is that you can lift it up, and if there's a piece that hasn't stuck, you can put it right back down and keep adhering it. You need to burnish it, and you notice when I'm doing that, I have it rolled, that piece, around my fingers so that it won't catch the design and lift some of it up. I have used two separate transfers, both the Botanist journal and the Ladies in Waiting transfer on this piece. I combined them both and they look great. I decided to seal this up again with some Big Top here. I did it from the bottom up to the top so that I wouldn't have any type of a drip mark, and then flip it over, and then I did the top to the bottom. Here I have a piece that I found. I'm not sure where, if it was thrifted or if it was at the dump. But most likely one of those two places. It was something that needed to be done, so I decided to give it a coat of Skelton Key by DIY. I wasn't sure what I was going to do for that center section, and I decided to decoupage it with a napkin. So I took apart, there's always 3 layers, and I took apart the top layer, and then I struggle with my MS to get the other last layers apart. So I took 2 of the painter's tape pieces that I had stuck to my clothes and was able to pull it apart that way. I laid it down, and then I just started decoupaging with the crystal clear patina from DIY just on the top of it. I didn't put that down first because it was such a thin napkin. Then you see me here taking one of the brushes. I was dipping in water to try to tear it, and I decided Nope, I'm gonna cut the excess off around it and then tuck it down. And then I did that around the center section that was raised, the little metal part that was raised there. And I pulled that up all the way around. And it wasn't a clean edge, and I didn't like that. So I cut a strip of the napkin so that it was flat. And then I laid it down right next to it. See? And then I just put a little piece of the decoupage medium right over the top of that, and it worked fine. I then used my DIY big top and I sealed in the napkin all around the edges there. I then decided to seal the rest of the picture and the frame with clear wax from DIY. And once I had completed the clear wax, I wanted to white wax it. But I usually use clear wax first before I use a colored wax, because that helps for me to control the amount of white wax or colored wax that I am using. I then got out my Sweet Pickins Milk Paint buffing rags. Oh my gosh, these are the best rags to buff back and take back some of the wax on all of your pieces. And I use that to go ahead and get some of the high points, the wax taken off. I found this sign thrifting and I felt that it was perfect just as it is. So all I did was clean it up. It reminds me quite a bit of DIY's aviary. I then got out my Bead Board white, which is one of my favorite whites. It's my go-to. And I decided to paint this tall vase that I had found. This one I got at a garage sale this past year. And I sell some tall florals in my shop, and I wanted to display them in this. So I gave it a coat of Bead Board white. And then I got out my DIY's big top and I sealed that Bead Board white right on in. I used my hairdryer to dry it and speed it up because I left my heat gun at my shop. But this works just fine if you don't have a heat gun. I then decided to get out my Redoute 2, which is a transfer from Iron Orchid Designs, and I put these beautiful roses and some of the French words all over this tall vase. This vase is about 2.5 foot tall. I usually put my large florals. I have some peonies and hydrangeas and some sunflowers that I sell through the summertime and the springtime, and I will put them in this year. They will also be available on my website too, at stellaroseboutique.co. One of the things I noticed when I was doing the words part of the transfer, that you need to do the one side, and then if it's going to cross over on the other side, you need to change it a little bit so that it's not crooked. I then found another bowl that had been painted a while back, and I decided I was going to finish it. It was painted in Prom Queen and in Bead Board white. And this bowl had a very heavy black waxy finish, and I believe I had used something like mineral spirits to try to strip it and then sand it down. It has been a long time, but it's time for me to finish this project. So I sealed it up with a coat of DIY Big Top. And then I used my heat gun to speed it up. You see how dark the bottom of that is and how waxy that is? That's what the whole piece was. I did also use some of the Salvation solution in white first because I wanted to prevent any bleed through that would have happened from that waxy finish. I am sealing the inside here with DIY Big Top. I used my handy dandy heat gun. I cheat, and I use this to speed up a lot of my projects. And then I added my lemons from the IOD Lemons transfer. You see me lifting here some of that. I made sure when I pulled it out that it wasn't adhered to the piece, and I wanted to use my fingers so that it wouldn't get folded over on top of each other because of the curvature of the bowl. I burnished it down and I was very careful so that I wouldn't lift any of the pieces. I then got out my DIY Big Top and I sealed in the lemons. And here's my heat gun again, speeding up the process. Once I got this dried and it sat for a little bit, I decided to white wax it without using my clear wax first. I wanted to give it a very soft spring look because we're coming into spring and I'm super excited for the warm weather. And then I got out my Sweet Pickins Milk Paint buffing rags. Oh my gosh, y'all, these are the best. I love them. Well, everything's all complete. There's some of my white peonies that I have for display in the vase that I'm going to use in the shop. All of the painting products and some of these projects are available in my shop at Stella Rose Mercantile and Boutique at 524 Justice Drive in Greenville, Tennessee, or online at stellaroseboutique.co. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it out with your friends and family because that helps grow my channel. And if you haven't yet subscribed, please do so and mash the notifications bell and hit all so you won't miss any of my upcoming Trash to Treasures, thrift flips, how-to tutorials, and just everyday upcycling old furniture and making it new home decor. I can't wait to welcome you and be the first to say welcome to my Stella Rose family. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful day. Bye!